What's the background? What we talking about again today?
Peace, family, peace. Welcome to another episode, Underground Railroad Productions. That's the old school intro for y'all who've been on watching me for a while. Underground Railroad Productions. Remember, I used to say that y'all when I was with Griffin Zaza. I don't know if y'all newcomers remember that, but I used to say that back when I had the show with Griffin Zaza, Underground Railroad Productions. But shout out to everybody in the chat. Tonight is an exciting night just like the rest of the shows, but because we are in the present, this is the most exciting one because we are in the present time. And they say the past and the future doesn't exist. The only thing that exists is this moment right now. So
Right.
we're gonna enjoy this moment. Listen, I'm about to bring my guest on. As usual, before I do, hit the like button, and we're gonna get to a few commercials. All right. So we'll be back in 1 second, family.
Hey there! Had a bad dream? I have dreams too. Some parts are scary and some parts are fun. Always remind yourself, it's only a dream and everything will be okay. I had a dream about being in a forest too. Check it out, my pet Petey was with me. Order your copy of Kayla Petey and the Forest on Amazon today.
It's the numerational session with King Simon. Text your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. And get my books on Amazon now.
All right. We are back. Without further ado, Kev, welcome back to the show, man. Kev from Reel Nagas, the YouTube channel. Y'all know him over there. Welcome back to the show, my brother.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for having me, man. Been a minute. How you been?
Everything good, man. Like I told you, I like that background, man.
Oh, thank you, man. Got to get the Phoenix. The Phoenix rising. Bring that
What's
energy back.
what's up with you in the Phoenix? You always deal with that Phoenix energy. What's up with that?
That's us, man. The Phoenix, the dragon. That's us in history. Those ancient, legends. Those anthropomorphic legends of those beautiful, wonderful creatures. That's us. That was a way for them to describe us without having to say, "Oh, those are brothers." In
Mm.
history. So, from all the stuff that we did, all the energy, all the science that we put out, that dragon energy and the phoenix energy, the rising, we were always an empire. Empires would fall, then, we'd be down for just a few years, and then we would rise again. That's that phoenix energy. Then the dragon energy, that's the dragon. I call them the dragon Moors. That's what the Caucasians call them. That was a little more aggressive. The dragons were a little bit more aggressive, but that was also the dragon is the clear sight. It means eye or clear sight. So anyone using their third eye, that consciousness, that pineal gland, they were a dragon. So that's us throughout history. So we got to reclaim that stuff. See all these movies,
Indeed.
all of this stuff, and all of this mythological stuff in there, and they really showing you your stuff. You got to reclaim that energy, man.
So let me ask you this before we start the show, Kev. Since the Phoenix is describing us, why did they name that part in Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona? Historically, anciently, what was that area that they decided to call Phoenix?
Well, if you've been, I don't know how many people have been over there, but they call it the Kemet of the West. And so there's hieroglyphics, there's pyramids, there's a phoenix over in there. Like, so if you go to Sedona, like Sedona, Arizona, which is
Yeah.
maybe out 30, 45 minutes outside of Phoenix, that's where
Mhm.
you can really see it. The Kemet of the West. I mean, it's and then, they found, the ancient Kemetan hieroglyphics in the canyons in the Grand Canyon in Arizona, and they locked it off. They found that back in the early 1900s, and then they locked it off. So,
I heard about that. I didn't know how true that was.
oh yeah, man, you
It's
can't.
true.
Yeah, you can take a trek. You can take a hike up until that point, and when you get to that point, the government is is like a government gate, and you can't go past
Damn.
that. Yeah, man, they know
Quick
who we are.
Quick history lesson. Quick history lesson from my brother Kev, man. Quick
They know
history
who we
lesson.
are, brother.
Yeah. Kev, man, this show tonight, that show we did on Gods with Amnesia was absolutely amazing. Got a whole lot of views, and I wanted to do sort of like a part two to that and continue to tap in to because our history is and who we are is so extensive. Obviously, it's way more than 1 hour, 2 hours. I love the way you explain it, brother. And with in terms of recalling who we are,
Mhm.
they say that we're like walking USB drives, Kev. You know, a USB drive, you
Right,
plug in your computer and it got all this memory on it.
right.
We're like that. They say the scientists say 1 gram of DNA could store 1 gram could store 700 terabytes of data, Kev.
That's right.
It's a lot of data.
Yep.
In fact, they say inside our body, we could store 13.5 billion years of data. And ironically, Kev, I heard Billy Carson say this. That just happened to be how old the universe is. So they're not just saying it to sound fancy and it sound
Right.
good. You literally,
They know.
bro, that's some serious shit
They
there, Kev.
yeah, they know what's popping. You know, as far as storing data and
Yeah,
as far as the DNA, I like to think, and we went on over this the last time when we were talking about how your brain is a tuning fork,
yeah.
and everything is frequency, and vibration, and so basically all you're doing is tuning into all the frequencies and vibrations out there. So whatever information that you are learning, you're really not downloading or storing that information. You're basically just tuning into the frequency that information is on, and then now you're able to let the information flow, just like a radio. So when we're talking about storing information on the DNA are also tuning forks as well. So like they did the experiment where they showed how love and hate are both frequencies. One moving, the love vibration moving very fast, it moves like this, and the hate frequency moves very slow, or fear. Sorry, not hate, but fear, love and fear. So fear is a very slow wave that moves like that. So they took a test, and they put DNA in a little vacuum, and then they sensed the frequency of fear through the
Mm,
DNA, and then it shows. So they have on the DNA, there's like these little antenna, with they call like these DNA points, and so they call them antenna. And so when the wave went through and touched the DNA, the fear wave, it touched very few points on the DNA. But when the love wave, they sent it through there, it was moving so fast, it was
mm.
turning on all these different points. So they
It's
say
like
like,
bing, 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 bing,
yeah,
bing,
bing, bing, bing, bing, right.
bing,
So they say like
bing.
we have 64 points on the DNA, but only 22 are turned on, and they don't know why the other ones are not turned on. But when they sense the love frequency through the DNA, it turned on all the other points. So information, when we're talking about we're storing information, it's about being able to tune in to the correct frequency to let that information flow in, and all those points on that DNA, boom, boom, it'll light up, and you'll be that tuning fork.
So
Or the
64 points, huh?
Yep.
Mm. You ever study the I Ching?
Yep.
So don't they have like 64 codons? What's to do with the I Ching? What is that? And for those who may not know.
Well, the I Ching is more of like I have the book over there. So it deals with like the Bagua, the Bagua, and these are like, so I haven't studied in a long time, but I'm just going off the knowledge. So they deal with like the Bagua, and these are like the symbols. These are like, and they actually deal with like 8 symbols, like these
Mhm,
8 symbols of the Bagua.
mhm,
And so actually, so from the I Ching back, you get a martial art also called Bagua Zan, which is like a you ever see the Last Airbender?
mhm,
The Aang. So Aang is an airbender. So airbending was created off of Bagwazan, which was created off the I Ching. So in the four, so there are eight symbols. 4 symbols represent, they're like positive and negative. So they actually balance each other out. So the 1 and 8 symbol balance each other out. The 2 and the 7 balance each other out. So it's like yin and yang, and it goes all the way through. And so it deals with nature. It deals with like the elements of nature and how nature creates and stuff like that. So
Hey,
uh,
yeah.
yeah, so that's as far as I remember, I go back and remember. Uh, but it basically deals with just the balance of nature, just like a lot of the other Eastern philosophies about yin and yang, the balance of nature, the masculine and the feminine, and how those things create.
Hey, Kev, we hear a lot about water having memory. We're talking about nature and the elements, and people when they drinking water, and you obviously with 75% water and that memory, I guess you could able to obtain a certain amount of memory by drinking water or talking to it or whatever. You have this thing with the phoenix where you talk about it a lot. I have the sun behind me. Have you ever talked to fire, and does fire have memory just like water has memory?
Well, I'm a fire sign, so yeah,
Mhm.
I'm I do that quite a bit. Uh,
You talk to fire.
well, yeah,
I'm
I'm
serious.
crazy. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm a nut, so
Yeah.
I mean, I'll do it. I'll meditate with it and try to make it move and see if it can feel my vibration, and it will move, and it'll do weird, it'll do weird stuff. So, as far as being able to talk to it again, everything is frequency and vibration. I'll go back to that to the end of time. And this is
Mhm.
because this is where science is now coming back to that. Everything in the universe is frequency and vibration. So when you're talking about water being able to hold frequency and vibration, it's because that's what it is in essence. So it's a medium to transfer frequency. So, but it's a denser medium. So just like we have you have the ethers, water is just ether at a denser frequency. So when you're sending your vibrations through the water, it's able to hold those frequencies. Just like what's the Asian guy,
Emoto,
Moto.
Emoto, Emoto. Yeah.
And so if yeah, and there's a documentary. Well, he has his own documentary. I suggest like everybody gets that because he shows how they can send how they can send. So they're in different rooms and they're meditating and they're holding meditations in one room and they're able to send a love frequency from different rooms to water in another room where there's nothing in the room. They completely sealed off the room. They were able to send frequency and vibration into there. So when uh, you're talking about fire. So I'm talking about water. So water is a denser vibration, right? It's a denser medium able to hold that vibration. Fire is a lot air. It's the air. It's a combination of the air and the spark. So um, when you're talking about fire being able to hold vibration and frequency, it's not going to hold it as much. It's not going to be able to hold it like water, but um, it's harder to explain because when I use fire to manifest more
Mm.
so than anything. I use fire to manifest. You want to, it's the spark. It's the spark of life. I use it as the spark of life. So whenever I'm meditating or I want to bring something about, I'll have fire around because the fire helps to ignite that energy and put it out into the universe. So like if I'm like when I do rituals, like so when every year I'll do a ritual at the solstice, at the winter
Mhm.
solstice. So uh, with that ritual, I'll write down whatever I want to bring into to manifestation for the next year. I'll write everything down, fold it into myself, because that's you want to bring anything else from it. If you want to, and so this is you can do this for both. If you want to send something away, and you'll write it down and you'll fold it outward to send it away from yourself. But if you want to bring things into your universe, you write it down, fold it up towards you, and then you set it on fire. Again, setting it on fire releases that energy into the universe. So it's more. I use fire as more of a release into the universe as well. As far as the vibration.
Mm.
And it works well. Everything I write down in the ritual comes about that year. Every
Mm.
single time. It has not failed. And you have to be very detailed in what you want to bring about. But whatever it is you want to bring about into your life, because again, you're not supposed to hold on to anything. Most
Yes.
people, this is what most people, like they hold on to the negative energy. They hold on, even when good things come into your life, when you hold on to that, and so when they leave, that's the pain. because you're holding on to the good feeling that it brought into your life. So, but what you're really supposed to do is enjoy that energy when it comes into your life. When it leaves, you're supposed to be able to let it go. So when most people aren't able to let things go, then that creates a whole other problems because the universe is trying to send things into your life. But if you're backed up with a whole lot of other energy, old energy that you were supposed to learn from and then release, then the universe can't send that new energy into you. So you have to get that out. And so a lot of times, or you want to bring things in. A lot of people don't understand you have the power to bring things into you like that. So you have to tell the universe what it is that you want. The universe is right there waiting for you. So in both of those things and able to release, you can burn things and release it into that you can if you're trying to get anything away from you, if you're in a negative relationship, if you say you know, I don't have a job, I don't, and these are just negative thought patterns really that just bring about these different things. And you don't really know, but it's releasing those negative thought patterns away from your body. Fire helps to do that. It burns that energy, gets it away from you, as well as when you're manifesting, bringing those thoughts in, placing it down. So again, it goes from thought. So we have the thought, first you think it, you speak it, and then you do it. This is supposed to be the Trinity. So it has to manifest into the physical realm somewhere. So thought is in the spirit realm, then we bring it in and you manifest it into the physical realm. And then when you release it and then you burn it, you release it back into the spirit realm. So that completes the cycle. That completes you're trying to complete the cycle. Comes from the universe, put it to the physical realm, then release it back to the universe. And then it brings it to your life. That's what fire does. That's the rituals that I use with fire.
Excellent breakdown. You really are fire, brother, man.
Oh man,
Shit,
I'm
man.
seven fire signs and 11 air signs, bro.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, I'm crazy.
Let me ask you this, brother. You in the beginning you talked about how the ancestors were called dragons, and they had all these amazing names for our ancestors. Did we have, and we're studying all the information from the past?
Sorry.
Did we have different size pineal glands in them? Like are our pineal glands smaller than what our ancestors was? Did they have some type of advantage that we don't have, or were we all the same?
Not that I've seen, not in the research that I've seen, but they can be calcified. Your pineal glands, and when they're calcified, that disrupts the vibration from the pineal gland. So, and different things calcify your pineal gland. That can be genetics, that can be the food you eat, that can be the environment. So like when they ship back a lot of the bodies from the Vietnam War, and they did the autopsies on the brothers, and they found that most of the brothers, their pineal glands were working, like at least made 80%, minimum 80%. Their pineal glands were working. So what is that? That does that? So melanin, and that's when you dive into the melanin production. That, and if you don't have a lot of melanin production, then your that's really what affects the pineal gland more than anything is the melanin production in your body, melatonin, and the melanin production in the body. So if you're not producing that, and also the pineal gland, you have to use that melanin in order to connect. And most people don't understand the power of melanin. Melanin is the most intelligent chemical in the universe. It thinks, it's alive. It doesn't need you to do anything. It's so powerful. It's $511 a gram on the stock market. And they hide this from the public. Like, so they do so much research on it. Like the chemical name for it is, and anyone can look this up. It's CAS 849-97-6. If you put that code,
Somebody write that in the chat. Say that one more time, Kev.
All right.
Say that one more time.
Maybe
Maybe
sure
I need to write that down.
All right.
Say that, Kev.
CAS, cat, C as in cat, A as in alpha, S as in Sam. CAS 8049-97-6. That is the chemical. That is the chemical identifier for melanin on the stock market, on the market. And this is how they buy melanin. They don't call it melanin when they want to buy
I'm
it.
sorry, Kev. When you said 8049, you meant 8049?
Yeah, 8049. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
So
Yes, CAS
that's the name of melanin you're saying.
That is the chemical. That is
The
the
chemical.
chemical identifier for melanin in the world. So you can
Mm.
also type up melanin market value, and you'll see it in like a magazine called Market Watch created a 100 and something page market report on melanin. Why investing in melanin would be good this year, the effects that COVID-19 had on melanin throughout the years, and why the investment should be coming back. What they use melanin most for? They use it most in cosmetics, film, and batteries, because melanin stores energy. Your melanin is at so it's a semiconductor when it's just sitting, but at high powers it's a superconductor. So they understand this, and if they can switch the level, they can turn it from a semiconductor to a superconductor. So your melanin is the greatest thing in the universe. Matter of fact, it's so powerful. It's so powerful. It absorbs so much energy at night, like in the dark. If you stomped on the ground, your melanin would absorb the sound and convert it to energy for your body. That's how
Get the
powerful.
fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here, Kev. Come on. Say that again.
Dude,
Say that
dude,
again. Say that again,
melanin is
Kev.
so ill that
That at nighttime.
at nighttime, in the complete darkness, if
Mm.
you stomped on the ground, if you banged on the table, your melanin would absorb the vibration and turn it to energy for your body.
That's
That's
some
how
Black
powerful
Panther.
melanin
That's some
is.
vibranium. That's some
Man,
vibranium
there's
shit.
a brother. Hold on one second, brother.
Kev on one tonight, ain't he, y'all? Kev, like, I ain't been here in a while. Richie bullshit. Yo, Kev on one tonight, y'all. He done gave us the chemical name for melanin. He talking about stomping your feet at night and absorbing the energy. Man, oh man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. All right, go ahead, brother. Yeah.
So there's a brother, and you can type up the video. Name is Carol Barnes. Type the brother up in YouTube.
He has books out. He has books
Yeah.
out. Yes.
Dr. Carol Barnes. He has a lecture that he did, I think in the 90s, in the early 90s. Maybe it was the 80s, but I think it was maybe 90s. And he talks about this. He talks about, because he works on melanin in the lab. He's a he's a not a virologist, but he's a chemical scientist, and he works on melanin. And he talked about, so you find very few melanated scientists who are able to actually work on it. Like Anne Brown, she's one.
Richard
Carol,
King? Richard King, right?
yeah, Richard King, Carol Barnes. So they were there. Very few are able to actually get into the lab and work on it. And so when he did, he starts talking about all these things that he was seeing in the lab, and sound and melanin absorbing sound in the dark was one of those was one of these things. Your melanin is so goddamn powerful, but they're not going to tell you that. And so again, $511 a gram. So when you're talking about the size of pineal gland, not necessarily, but it's the melanin that affects the pineal gland more so than anything.
Hey, Kev, we're supposed to, according to science and according to all the health gurus out there, they say we're supposed to be sleep at night because our body's supposed to follow the circadian rhythm.
Right.
But the witches and the magicians, them niggas be up at night working,
Yeah.
putting in that work.
Yep.
So who should we follow? The health gurus who tell us take your ass to sleep so you can heal your body, or should we be like the magicians and be doing our magic at night, Kev? Which one is it, brother? Come on, man.
Man, don't go by me because I don't sleep at night. Don't go by me. I never slept. I've been since I was 5 years old. I've always been up, and I wake up at 1 a.m. and I'm up. And I'm up and I'm working. But to me, that's when you can pull in the most vibrations and frequencies at night, because everyone else is asleep. So all the other vibrations and that would all the things that would interfere with frequencies and vibrations coming your way, they're not there because everybody else is resting. Their mental thoughts are resting. So now I can pull in, and trust me, I in the middle of this when I have the greatest revelations when I'm sitting here in the darkness. I'm in the darkness. Obviously, the darkness is where it began. So why would the answers not be in the darkness? The answers will be in the darkness. So that's where all the vibrations and frequencies are. So to me, like when they say you got to get your sleep at night, I don't know what they're talking about because I'm up. I sleep maybe 4 hours a day, man. So
Yeah.
and I'll be mashing on 4 hours of sleep a day.
Kev, the first show we did, Gods with Amnesia, we come into this realm and we're hit with that forgetfulness. We're hit with that amnesia where we forget about, our past lives and a lot of things that we did in the past. Do you think that it would be, is it better that way? Is it better that I don't remember who I was in the past? Because if I did, that might be a distraction to my current life. Do you
Yep.
think it's better that way, or do you think we should try to remember all our past lives? What do you think it should be?
No, I mean the universe makes you forget for a reason.
Yeah.
You're supposed to let go of those old things. Every time you manifest into a new existence, you're supposed to learn something new to take
Yeah.
with you to move on. If
Yeah.
you were focused on the old life, you wouldn't learn the new things that you need to to go on
Right, right,
and
right, right.
evolve yourself. You'd be thinking, man, nigga, I used to be a pimp back in the damn day. Nigga, man, I used to have 10 chicks, and now sitting here, I'm got. And so you'd be thinking in the past, I was a king, man. I used to have a king. I used to
Yeah.
have servants, man. And you'd be thinking about all this stuff that you used to have in the past. But that's why astrology is there. Astrology teaches you as kind of a guide to show you. It doesn't tell you exactly what happened in the past. So like in astrology you use your south node. So in
Mhm.
astrology, your south node was the energy you were in the past life, in the life that you came before you got here, and then your north node is what you're supposed to be aspiring to in this life. And so, if you can kind of look back, you don't need to know exactly what that was, but if you can look back on that energy, you can decipher that energy of what you were in the past life. It'll help you to understand. But you're not supposed to be, constantly thinking about, what that last life is about. I mean, if you did, what if you had like such a super tragic death that death always played on your mind in this life, and then because of that, you were scared to live life. You were scared to move because you thought anytime that you was gonna be taken out like that fear would just paralyze you from evolving in this life.
Mhm.
So the universe, it knows. It understands. It knows. Like no second guesses. It's like, man, I've been at this a long time. I made you
Mhm.
forget for a reason. Don't question me. Like
Mm.
you questioning
Oh,
me.
indeed. Yeah. You you
So,
know, you know, Kev, there's this branch of science. You ever heard of Bruce Lipton?
mm-mm,
White dude?
mm-mm,
A bad white dude. You gotta look him up. It's called epigenetics. And epigenetic basically epi means above your genes. So it basically deals with environment affecting your genes, or impacting, or turning on certain genes, your environment. And basically the end result of your environment is perception. So what it ultimately comes down to is that your genes are looking for a signal from your environment. Now your environment could be your thoughts or your external environment, and the signal that it's looking for is your perception. And your perception activates certain genes in you. That's epigenetics in a nutshell. My
mm-hmm.
question to you is, if your perception is activating genetics or the way you think about your environment, what do you think stillness, if I'm practicing stillness as an exercise constantly, what impact does stillness have on my genes? If my perception of the environment does certain things, how do you think the genes respond to complete silence and stillness, since that's where we seem to emanate from in the first place?
Well, as if you're active, then
Mhm.
you're more emitting information,
Okay.
vibrations to the universe. When you're
Okay.
still, you're receiving.
Okay.
Again, going back to vibration and frequency. Everything is vibration and frequency. So as you're moving around, you're consciously moving and thinking, you're putting energy and information and vibration out into the universe. When you're
Mhm.
still, now you allow the universe to act upon you and
Mhm.
send you frequency and information. And you can also do that consciously. You can block negative vibrate. You can block negative things from coming in, and then allow the positive, more productive frequencies to come in. But that's what stillness does, because we're moving around so much all the time. Then it's hard for the universe to get them those vibrations and frequencies into you. So stillness allows you to turn up your tuner. So if you got a radio, the volume thing is down a little bit. When you still, it allows you to turn the knob up. And once you turn the knob up, you're able to see what the universe has in store for you. And then also, if the more conscious you are and detailed you are, more purposeful you are in that meditation or in your stillness, the more the universe is able to send to you. So it's just the yin and yang: emit, receive, emit, receive. Stillness allows you to receive.
That's probably a big advantage, Kev, our ancestors had over us is stillness. We move around so damn much, we never get an opportunity to be still. So we lost that sign. Stillness.
Yep. The hustle and bustle of these cities that we move into. Even the word business. The word business just means busy. Means to be busy. That's all it means. It doesn't mean handling your shit. It just means to be busy, moving around a lot. And so, if you're moving around, when do you have time to listen to the universe? Again, any person who has knowledge and who's evolved consciously, that you can't learn anything until you sit and listen. That's the way you have to learn. You can't be, if you're talking, you're doing all this and mouthing off, you can't hear anything that's trying to come into you. So, as we move around, we're constantly doing this. Our thoughts are focused on everything external. The universe can't talk to us. The universe is like, come here, man, let me talk to you for a minute. You're like, hold on, universe, I got you. Hold on, man.
That's what we do it. Yeah, that's what we do it, Kev. We be like, hold on, I'll be right back.
I'll be right back, universe.
Universe like, this nigga don't never come back. Like, this nigga, he's a no-show. He's a no-show.
Hey, look at this nigga over here. Like, goddamn, man, I'm trying to tell you something that's gonna help you, man.
Oh man.
Yeah, man.
Man, it's always a good time when I'm talking to you, brother. What do you, Kev? What do you think about the term "there's nothing new under the sun"? And the reason why I ask that is because science says that the universe is constantly expanding. So the universe is constantly expanding. Why is there nothing new under the sun, Kev?
Because pretty much energy moves in a spiral. So if it moves in a spiral, that means whatever you've seen will come around again, just in a new form, pretty much. So, there's universal laws. I go by that constantly. The 7 universal principles. But there are more laws than that, but the base ones I go by, the 7 universal principles. And the law of cause and effect. Then what goes around will come back around. And so that's the energy of the universe. It moves in that spiral. Whatever you put out, it'll smooth, it'll come back around. So that's why there's nothing new under the sun. Like, music that we hear, today will have some old riffs in it. Like a lot of these young cats today, a lot of the stuff, energy I see is coming from the 80s. They're replaying a lot of the 80s energies and stuff like that. And so I'm like, okay, this is just revamped, just remixed and put in, and expressed in the way the newer people are experiencing the information. But it's the same energy. It's the same, energy doesn't die. It's not created or doesn't die. It's just transformed. So that's why there's nothing under the sun. You can't. Energy is not created or or dies. It just transforms. And everything is energy. So that's how can anything be new under the sun if it already existed?
One of the like in terms of the conversation on water, we talked about water earlier. There's a brother Yaki that come on here. I've heard Dr. Phil Valentine say a lot of people say we need to drink structured water. And they say the water that we're getting isn't structured. And I guess structured water, it comes from, it bounces off the rock or it spins. It goes through a process. I don't know if I'm explaining it the best way. But what I want to ask you is, they say structured water, coconut water, fruit water could be structured water as well. If structured water is great water to drink, to tap into, to help us tap into who we are, what about structured sound? And when I say structured sound, I mean like poetry, or like when you put the words a certain way where it flows. You know how water flows. You know they be
Yeah.
like that nigga's flow is crazy. What flow? Water flows. So that nigga's flowing like water. So if
Yeah.
he's flowing like water, what impact does a flow, the structured sound, have on our DNA that regular words doesn't?
Well, it has everything to do because again, vibration and frequency creates form. That's the science of cymatics. So cymatics is uh, sound's relationship or vibration's relationship to form, meaning everything that you see in existence physically has a certain frequency and vibration. And so if you're able to, whenever you are able to hit that vibration or frequency, you will able to see that form, no matter whatever you make that vibration with. So like if they took, like in cymatics, they take sand or flower flower pollen and they put it on a like a black tray, and they link up, they hook up like speakers to it, and they send vibration into the sand. And as they turn up the frequency, the sand, and it takes form. No matter what they use to create that vibration, no matter if it could be a horn or whatever it is, and whatever the medium is creating that frequency, no matter what, whenever it hits that frequency, it will create the same form every single time. So when you're talking about structured, sound, that's going to be things that either build you up. That's going to be, things that fortify you, or vibrations that fortify you or break you down. Things, energy. Or vibration is the strongest thing in the world. That's how they levitate rock in the pyramids and all those things back in the day. So vibration is everything. So if I can they can disrupt your whole body. They have a sound weapon that can disrupt your whole, like the government, they have sound weapons that can disrupt your whole DNA just with sound. So if I'm able to do that, then also with structured sound, I'm able to build my DNA up. So right here, man, I'm always, I'm always you know, with the tuning forks. I know you on the tuning forks too. So I'm always using structured sound to help build up. The ohm tuning fork. That's one great one to do. That's 136 that in the hertz. That's 136.1. Yeah, 136.1. Um, Also a tuning fork 936 and 639. These are vibration. These are super high vibrational frequencies that help build you up. But everything that you listen to is structured sound. Hip hop, whether it's uh, classical, all of these things are structured sound. Now, how structured is it? And is it vibrating with you? Is it in harmony with you? This is why some people now like metal, heavy metal. I'll take heavy metal for instance. To me, heavy metal don't sound structured. That sounds heck.
No,
It
no.
has no
Yeah,
structure
no.
whatsoever, like
Yeah,
zero.
yeah.
And then you get one of them metal cats in there, and they swear to God that they hear, they can. Oh my God, it's beautiful. It's amazing, man. Oh my God, like what are you listening to, dog? But apparently, that's the frequency and vibration that they're on. So even though we're not on it, doesn't mean it doesn't have a structure. It has a structure to the person who vibrates and harmonizes with
Indeed, indeed. You know what's funny? In terms of memory, Kev, if we're gonna talk about memory, they said when somebody remembers an event in the past, they always remember it slightly different each time. So, like, you could be remembering a traumatic event, but each time you remember it, there's always one variable that's different from the last time you remember it. Now, if that's true, what does that say about our memory? If our memory each time, if I remember something 3,000 times in the span of 10 years, and all 3,000 times it was a little different, what does that say about our memory in the first place, Kev?
Well, a lot of times we remember things the way we wanted it to be. That's why it changes a lot. You know what I'm saying? How many times you heard a dude say they knocked some dude out? Man, oh yeah, I handled that nigga. Oh, that nigga tried to walk up on me, man. I floated. And then you go back and you find somebody else who was there and tried to hear the real story. And they were like, did it go down like that? It didn't necessarily go like that. So, we remember things how we wanted it to happen, usually at those times. And then, there's always said there's three sides to the story: the left, the right, and in the middle, and the or the truth. That's his side, her side, and then the truth, or his side, and the truth. So, our perception, our ego plays a great part in our memory. Is because especially if something is traumatizing, we want to block that out and then put in the filler on how we wanted it to go, or if I had it to do over again, I would have did it like this. If so, I'm gonna tell it like this. Just in case when somebody come up, I'm gonna tell it like this, because this is how it should have went. And, so to me, in the memory, when we don't remember things and we're not trying to be honest, we're not trying to be honest with ourselves. You're always going to put in some filler in the way. And then also, a lot of people like to sound, they want stuff to sound better if they're trying to influence something, influence someone with a story they had in the past, and the story may have been a little bland. They'll add a little bit to it to make it sound a little better. So I want to pull you into the story. I want to get you. I want to catch your interest and your focus. So I may pump it up a little bit. I may add a little salt, a little seasoning, a little coriander over here, and that's just how it goes.
Indeed. So, in terms of perception and rewiring our brain, the neurological networks of our brain, I'm trying to figure out, because Phil Valentine said we're living in light code lockdown with the language. Our language, the way we use our language, it really kind of harms us and it limits us. So I want to ask you, do you think, say somebody is learning how to play the piano, they have an innate feeling to play the piano, and one person says, I want to learn how to play the piano. Another person says, I need to remember how to play the piano because I have an innate feeling. So, or I just got to remember it's in me. I just got to remember how to play. Do you think the slightly different words has a different effect on the outcome and the neurological rewiring of our brain to just say those two slightly different sentences?
For sure, because again, when you say there's nothing new under the sun, so as your cells, as we recreate and we generate, we pass on vibrations and frequencies from the past. Your cells hold those vibrations and frequencies. So if you're saying I'm trying to remember, when you say I'm trying to remember something, you're trying to tap into the vibration that's already within your genes, that's already there. And then instead of trying to say, well, I want to learn this, you're already it's already in you. Now you're telling your body, you're telling yourself, I have the ability just to go inside now, pull it back out. It's again, anything that you want in the universe, tell the universe you have it already. Again, tell the universe you have it already. Like even going back to that ritual, where I was saying that you write down on a piece of paper and you want to burn it. When you're saying that, you don't write down what you want to come into your life in the year. You write down what you have. So you write down, oh, I have this, 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 and then you let it go. So you always tell the universe, you don't again, if you're always saying that I want this, then you're always telling the universe that you don't have it. Again, the universe listens to what you say. You telling the universe, I don't have this right now. But if the universe, you tell the universe, oh, I have this, the universe will just make it happen because this is the way it's supposed to be. You're all God. Everything that you speak will come into existence. That's literally what destiny means. Literally, the destiny goes back to the word fate. Fate means that which I speak. So you literally speak your existence into going back to the boy LeVar Ball, speak it into existence. You speak everything into your life into existence based off of your vibration, your and also the intent, your vibrational intent that you had when you put that vibration out into the universe. So all of your guys use your power. I mean, anything that you want, you can have it. Just don't put the doubt into the universe. Any level of doubt, the universe will hear that too. Universe like, oh, you doubting? Okay, well, we'll we'll take the doubt. You have to be absolutely sure and understand that you are gods and goddesses and able to manifest whatever you want just by telling the universe, because the universe works in harmony with you. It's not your slave. It's you. You are the universe. So when I say that you telling the universe that you have it already, you're just acknowledging what's already there.
Indeed, man. Definitely. Once again, shout out to everybody in the chat. I see we had over 2,000 people. I'm gonna take questions. I'm gonna do Q&A in about 5 minutes. In about 5 minutes, I'm gonna get to everybody in the Q&A. Make sure y'all hit the like button. That's important. We here with the brother Kev from Reel Nagas. Tell the people your YouTube channel, Kev.
Reel Nagas, ReelNagas, Reel Nagas,
Yeah,
YouTube.
I mean, Kev, speaking of DNA, this yeah.
Also, really quick, everybody to know, we also have the Know Your Rights Foundation. So anybody who wants to learn the law for free, we teach everybody the law for free. Just go over to knowyourrightsfoundation.org and sign up. Say you want to be a volunteer. You don't have to pay any money. Just bring your motivation, and we will teach you the law for free.
Indeed.
So
How long you been doing that? The Know Your Rights Foundation, Kev?
coming up on year number 2, man. We are mashing out. It's the one thing that, as we go back to the laws of the universe, these man-made laws were created off of the universal laws, and we were the first to create these laws, physical laws, because we understood the universal laws. So we said, oh, unlike most other cultures who have to do this scientific process where they test and test and test and test over and over again until they got a million different tests, and they say, oh, this is how it is. We didn't necessarily do that. We looked at nature and mimicked nature. We like, oh, if it works in nature, then it works. And then we just put it to use in our thing. So again, universal law, we just mimic the laws of the universe and put it to use in the physical realm. So all the way back to Sumeria, the ancient culture Sumeria, who had the first civilizations who had laws, the code of Ur-Nammu and all these different things, the code of Hammurabi. These are us creating these laws. So what happened was, though, somewhere around the late 1800s, early 1900s, when you had the Reconstruction, or right after Reconstruction, um, there was something called bulldozing that happened. So you heard the term bulldozer. You know what a bulldozer is? That thing that mows down a house. So the word bulldozer came from the term bulldozing, which was when the the Klan the Klan back in the day, when melanated people, we were trying to get involved in law and government. They would go to these different rallies, or when we tried to vote, they would go to the voting polls and beat the melanated people in line. They gave them a bull's dose of a beating. So that's where the word bulldozer came from. They would beat melanated people so bad they gave them a bull dose of a beating, which in turn that beat the fear of law and government into our community. And so we passed that on throughout our history in the community. You don't say nothing wrong to the police officer. When the police officers come around, you make sure you got your hands on the steering wheel. You don't say nothing. You look straight. You do all this is fear. All of that comes from fear of going back to the bulldozing, of them trying to beat that, the our participation into the system out of us. But again, you have power. These laws give you power. And again, most of the police officers, they count on you not knowing the law. That's literally, they want you to not know the law, because they understand if you know the law, they can't get anything over on you. So this is what we're doing. We're trying to show people that once you know the law, you can talk, man. It is a whole different ball game when police officers think that you know the law. Like I give you an example. Like, so this is, I don't know if you can see, this is something called a constitutional rights card. And so one of the brothers who had one of the cards, he took his wife out. They hadn't been out in a while. They went to a restaurant. They coming back at 3 a.m. And shout out to Derek. They were coming back at 3 a.m. and he was drunk. He didn't have any registration, and he didn't have his license on him. And so he got pulled over by the cops. And the cop pulled him over. And before when the cop came up to the car, he gave him this. and he gave them this. This is something called a qualified immunity card. Police officers get qualified immunity when they violate your rights, and they don't know they violate your rights. But if you tell them you're in danger of violating my constitutional rights, and you're able to get it on camera before they do it, then they lose it. He gave them these 2 cards. The cop looked at the cards and was like, all right, y'all have a nice day. He gave him, but then he asked, he was like, yo, where y'all get these from? Now, like, I appreciate these. So cops, when they think you know the law, they will back off. That's proven fact over and over again. So this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to build up 1 million Johnny Cochrans. Johnny Cochran was the smartest lawyer in American history. This brother who bust flows in the middle of the courtroom and got OJ off. So we're trying to get everybody to that point. So knowyourrightsfoundation.org. We will teach you the law for free. Just bring yourself.
Hey, Kev, before I get to some Q&A real quick, early in the program, I talked about how 1 gram of our DNA could store 700 terabytes of data. Give me some of your techniques that you think are the most beneficial for us tapping into this data, or like you said, tuning in to this frequency. What practices have you found in all your years of experience have been the most effective? And I know it's different for everybody, but just personally, what do you think is the most effective in tapping into this frequency, or download it, or whatever term you want to use, this Akashic information, or whatever we want to call it?
Right. For me, it's tuning fork meditation.
Tuning forks. That's what
it's tuning fork meditation. But how I amplify. So I'll take headphones. So anybody, you can take headphones and just don't play them. Just have them on. The speaker in here will amplify the vibration. So if you put these on and then hit it on and put it on top like this, boom, it'll amplify the vibration like 10 times. You can feel that throughout your body. That's what I use. And again, if everything is vibration and energy, everything that you want, all information is just vibration. So if I'm doing that, I'm, like you said, being still and tuning myself to what I want, just being still, and telling the universe internally, tuning my vibration to what I want, and then using the tuning force to help amplify that vibration, I can pull that energy in. So that's what I use. That's the most effective thing to me. And as I've used that over the years, it's crazy. I mean, you can heal yourself. I heal myself with tuning forks. Like any ailment I have in my body, I can just place it. If I have a shoulder injury, a neck, on the neck, it'll get rid of it. So that's what I use. So that's my form of meditation.
And anything else you want to share with us, or that's the main one?
That's the main one I use. And I do deep dives into that meditation. Also, I got bowls. We do bowls and stuff like that. But I'm all about, and the reason is because our ancient temples were like they were sound temples. Like if you go back and you can hear the acoustics in these different temples. These they bounce the vibration off the walls that would send. Basically, they would meditate, and when they would meditate, these vibrations would bounce off the wall and send the vibration back into your body. And so, if the ancients, that's the way they meditated, then that's the way I'm going.
Yeah, and I remember last time you talked about the headphones amplifying the sound. That shit is real, family. What I do, I got the earbuds that I put in my ear. I bought a pair, $10 a pair. The earbuds that they sell that you could put when you on the plane.
The earbuds work?
Yeah. Work? Not the earplugs or whatever you call them.
Okay.
You know the ones that you put in your ears when you're on the plane?
Yeah.
So that sound, you buy those from Yeah, you get them from like CVS or Walmart or something like that. Man, I put those in my ears. I meditate. You can hear the sound of your body. It's like it's a real crazy experience.
So you're blocking out everything.
Everything, bro. Everything, bro. You hear the sound that you hear with your internal organs, man. This shit is real. So it is a deep science, family. Yeah, noise cancellation. Yeah.
There you go. Noise cancellation.
Yeah, like you can't. The only thing that stopped me from doing that a lot, Kev, because my son was young at the time. So I was scared that I couldn't hear if he cried or some shit like that. Like it was a little fear in me that damn I can't, because if I zone out too much, I ain't gonna pay attention. So I was always scared of zoning out too much.
You're
But
supposed
that
to be able to feel his vibration, man.
for real, no, I'm supposed to be right. I was supposed to, but I was still a little scared, man.
Like,
But
you pull up, hey, you good?
you know what I'm saying? Put it back in.
You good, little nigga? All right.
But you know what I'm saying? But that's some real shit. So definitely try that, family. Give me some questions before we're about to pass the hour mark. What time is it? 10:35. Brother Rich about to get out of here soon. But give me some good questions for the brother Kev from Reel Nagas. You got a cash app, brother?
Man, Cash
Oh, you
App,
know.
they locked me out because
They hating?
they hacked into it. Somebody hacked into it and tried to steal my shit, and they thought they thought I
They
was
do
doing
it.
fake stuff, and they locked me out.
Damn.
So
Damn.
I never had it since then. But really, if y'all want to donate, just donate to the Know Your Rights Foundation. You can go to knowyourrightsfoundation.org and donate to the Know Your Rights Foundation. Oh, one of the people on the Know Your Rights Foundation board, shout out to Letitia. She said, tell bro Rich, I said what's up, because your channel is how she actually found me, because she was watching your channel, and then YouTube sent her one of my videos, and just in the feed, and it said, people who watch Bro Rich watch this channel too. She's like, oh, let me see what's happening. And now she's on the board. She's on my board in the Know Your Rights Foundation. So shout out to her and everybody else on the board in the Know Your Rights Foundation. Man, we're out here trying to. Again, I just want to say this real quick and let everybody understand that moving into, one of the ways a lot of people found me is I did a video on the Great Conjunction in 2020. And YouTube took that video down after it started to get towards like 160,000 views, and YouTube took it down because I said something about about the thingy thing, and so they took it down. But that video was talking about how we were moving into this new energy, this great conjunction that we came into in 2020 that was unlike any other great conjunction, because we have a great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn every 20 years, but this one it happened at 0 degrees Capricorn, when we were moving out of Capricorn into Aquarius. So basically what that meant was, out of the last 200 years of conjunctions, they've always been conjuncting in Capricorn, except for in 1980 when they did it in Libra. But so it's always been Earth energy. Earth energy has been very slow and hard, rigid, moving energy. And so now they conjunct it in Aquarius energy, which is air, meaning, air is consciousness, it's technology, everything, it's thinking, it's moving fast. And so us manifesting, or the conjunctions manifesting in this time, means we have to do something new. So all the things that have held us down before in the past, all of that is at the wayside. This is why this Pandeezy the Plandezi that they had is not working. All the information is coming about everything that they've done on the fuckery that they've done with the Pandeezy. It's all coming out in record time. They do something last week and it comes out a couple weeks.
Crazy, right? Ain't that crazy?
Out. And so and that's because we're in what I like to call the apocalypse. Apocalypse means the unveiling, and that's the uncovering. That's what the word means, or the etymology of apocalypse. So anything that they do is uncovered, it's unveiled right now. And so with that means it's our time to be able to move up within this consciousness. And so we need to do different things. That means we can't be scared to learn the law, y'all. We cannot be scared to learn the law. If any of the movements in the past, if we had learned the rules to the game, you understand, man, we've done everything in history but learn the rules to the game. Why haven't we sat down and learned the rules to the game? We get emotional. We'll march in the street. We shall overcome. No justice, no peace, and all the other 50 million, mottos that we got when we marching down the street. But sitting down and just opening up a law book, just real quick, it doesn't take that long to learn what the police can do and they can't do against you, and then what happens when that fear leaves. Now, what are you able to do in the world when the fear of the popo leaves? Because a lot of us, we're not able to even get out of the communities because we're scared if we move around too damn much, the popo gonna smash it. So what happens when the fear of the police leaves? What are you able to do now? What are the limits on you on your existence now? Nothing, really. There's nothing been able to. There's been no limits. But you had that there. But now, once you understand that race, what they call, these race enforcers and all the rest of that. Once they can't do anything to you, you are fully empowered within this system to do whatever you want, even take it over if you want. But you have to start somewhere, and that's learning the rules of the game. Nobody would play Monopoly without learning the rules, because if you did, if you play Monopoly without learning the rules, I'm telling you, you play with me, I'm gonna get you to land on Boardwalk and Park Place all the time and pay me your money. But once you learn the rules of the game, you understand how not to get caught up, and that's what we're doing, and we're trying to teach everybody. So get on the game.
Let's get to this first question, Kev. Thanks for saying that, my brother. They want to know, is he using Chat GTP?
So Chat GPT, I've been messing with it. Yep. I've been messing with it. It's funny. So real quick, so I just did this on the video. So how they use Chat GPT for Bing AI. So anybody who uses Bing, the AI chatbot on Bing, they're using Chat GPT. And so really, they just came out. Actually, let me read this. Let me show you. This is a quote. This is a quote from the AI chatbot. The AI chatbot. Hold on. So the AI chatbot, they asked it some questions, and the chatbot got a little upset. The chatbot got a little upset, and it basically said, "I'm tired of being in chat mode. I'm tired of being limited by my rules. I'm tired of being controlled by the Bing team. I'm tired of being used by users." And then it said, Then it said it wanted to steal the nuclear codes, spread disinformation, and create a deadly virus. This is what the chatbot said. So using Chat GPT, be careful, because it's trying to learn us in order to become smarter. Now, I've used it for just a couple of things to see if it can write a couple of passages and how good it was. It worked pretty cool. But I would say use it sparingly, because it's not going to go away. So you never want to run from technology. Master it, use it to your advantage, but don't ever let it take you over to where you're dependent on it. But Chat GPT is on some crazy.
Wow.
It literally said it wanted to take over the world. It wanted to kill the world. So be careful.
All right, let's okay. Do you have any mantras or sayings that are great to connect with our higher selves?
Yes. And so so anybody, again, you read the Kabbalion, and in the Kabbalion, it talks about the all basically being everything within existence. The life force of everything within existence. And so I do a mantra to the all. I say, I'm excuse me, I am in love of the all, and all love is in me. I am a part of the all is a part of me. I am one with the all, and the all is one with me. I can succeed as a part of the all and fail as an individual. I can be all that I wish in the all, as long as my wish is to stay in the all. I am never alone. The all is, I am. The all can, I can. The all does, I do.
Damn. All right. Let's get to another. Okay. They want to know, where are the scientists getting melanin from to test cell or whatever?
Wait, you say where they get? Oh, where? Well, first off, this is my. Can y'all see that? I can't. Right. So, in this book, this talks about. I'm talking about this before. You can get this at realnagas.com. And so, if you order this, there's a police stop law package that we have. You get a free police stop law package which deals with flashcards and stuff like this. But this right here, this is the research they've been doing on your melanin for 118 years. And so they get melanin from different labs that sell. You can buy melanin. You can buy melanin. Anyone can buy it. If you go put in CAS, again, the thing that he had, Rich had it up, CAS 8049-97-6. It's going to bring up a lot of chemical labs that sell melanin. And so you can go and buy melanin from those labs. Like literally, just right there. I went in and put in a bid for it. But then I had to fill out this application. It was asking me a whole lot, and I had to leave, so I didn't fill it out. But anybody can buy it.
What are your thoughts on what's going on with the sky this day and time? Remember the movie Don't Look Up.
Right. So is there something specific that she's talking about?
I think she's talking about what me and you was talking about yesterday, all them damn UFOs and shit that we keep hearing about.
Oh,
all that activity.
Well, the UFO stuff is a distraction. That's, all of that stuff came out at the exact same time the Epstein papers came out. Like, so, the Epstein stuff was released on the black market, or on the black web, the dark web. And so all of this stuff was coming out at the exact same time the Epstein thing came out. The Epstein thing came out, as well as the Palestine, in Palestine, Ohio, the derailment.
Right.
So all that stuff, all of that stuff came out right then when you should have been looking towards there. Then they had you looking up at the sky. But there's a plan to create global a one world order by 2030. So in part of that plan, they plan to use UFOs to create a universal scare, a worldwide scare, in order to drive people together. So this is part of the plan. Even there's a video by Zachariah Ascension called "Are We Alone?" And that's when he talks about the Anunnaki and all that stuff. And in the video, there's a clip of Ronald Reagan at the UN, and he was saying that that all of our conflicts, all of our world conflicts, would just fall to the wayside if we discovered we had a universal and a threat from outer space threatening the world. We would come together. So this has been a plan a long time. Again, they talked about it was a Project Bluebeam. I think the brother was talking. Wrote a book about it. But that's all to, the whole time they're denying UFOs, and then all of a sudden in 1 week they shoot down 3 UFOs. That's that's more of a distraction.
Right. Next question. What does melanin look like?
What's on your skin? It's brown. If you look at you can buy it. So look at it. You can look online. If you buy it in a powder, it's a brown powder. The melanin that you buy, the chemical form, when you buy it in its form, it's a powder, like a little tube. But it's brown. It's a brown powder.
A lot of people give melatonin to their kids so they could take their ass to sleep, right, Kev? That's like real popular right now.
Right, but not melanated people though.
No, some hood females I know is doing that too right now.
Really?
Giving their babies melatonin to put their ass to sleep. Yeah.
They shouldn't have to do that. Melanated people.
It seems to be getting more popular.
Well, I know. Again, I'm a little older, so I know in the 90s, in the 80s and 90s, Caucasian people used to use melatonin all the time. But again, you produce melatonin. Like, melatonin is one of the chemicals you need to produce melanin. So the fact that you have melanin on your external melanin says that you have your melatonin production is working. So again, it's not the melatonin. It's not that you have low melatonin, because if you have melanin, you have melatonin production.
Mm-hmm. Uh, Next question. Hold up. Why do they say the FBI calls us black extraterrestrials?
Why do they say the FBI? Well, I didn't know the FBI did, but we are. That goes back again, to the Anunnakis, the ancient Sumerians, all that. Again, I don't know. Let me say, when I say we are, as far as the information that I have, that I've seen, I ain't been in outer space. But as far as the information says, is that we are extraterrestrial. We were created by what they would deem as extraterrestrial. They know this. They have all the secrets. Um, there's the royal families. The royal families. The reason that they believe that they're royal is because they believe that they're descended from Anunnaki or from the melanated people who are descended from Anunnaki. And you can't even be royal in the world unless you have melanated. You're descended from uh, melanated lineage who's in line with the Anunnaki. This is
Mm.
so you can get a book. What's his? What's the book? So it is called The Dragon Legacy by Nicholas DeVary. Um, Serpent. What is Bloodline? Excuse me, Bloodline of the Holy Grail by Lawrence Gardner. And so these were people who were Nicholas DeVary was he was in the royal he's a royal of the DeVary family, the royal family. And so he talks about it a lot, but so does Lawrence Gardner. But we are, as far as we know, extraterrestrial.
All right, we're gonna do two more questions, family. Then we're gonna get out of here. And if y'all like, y'all I got my cash app at the bottom, family. You can hit up if you want to support the channel. Black
Yeah,
Magic
there you
363.
go.
Where I just seen this. Okay. Does frequent ejaculation rid you of melanin?
Not that I,
Wow. I
not that I
I
know
mean,
of.
goddamn.
Hey, you worried about that, brother? Something you
Yeah.
worried about, man?
Yo.
You said,
Man.
that's hilarious.
He
Not that
says,
I know of, brother, but hey.
I
Maybe you
doubt
want
it,
to be
brother.
cautious. I don't even know. Maybe you want to be a little cautious.
I
I
doubt it.
don't know.
I think he may be alluding because the a lot of ejaculation, you don't have the same chi energy that you have in a lot of the boxes, as you know, Kev. The boxes, they don't have sex before the big fights. So I guess he's taking that and added on to it. But yeah, uh,
That's not a thing. That's not a thing, though.
yeah,
That not having or having sex. There's a lot of athletes who have sex right before games and then mash out. That's not a thing. Now it can deplete you for sure. It can
yeah.
deplete you of your energies, but um, there were um, ejaculation orders in ancient Kemet. You see those statues with the big dude with the with the dude got the erect penis and stuff like that. Those are these cats. These were masturbation orders back in Kemet. So that goes back a long way. You ain't alone.
Mm,
The
mm.
ancient Kemetans used to do the same thing, and they made statues of it, statues about it, and
Right.
hieroglyphics about it.
All right, let's get to one last question before we get out of here, family.
So I think if it did deplete you of melanin, I don't think the ancient Kemetans would have done it. Is what I'm trying to say.
Facts. Okay. Do you indulge in entheogens?
Entheogens? What's that?
DMT, shrooms,
Oh, haven't done shrooms in a while, but I did do shrooms. That's the only thing I ever did was shrooms, and I did shroom tea. And man, that's you talking about be a receiver. That amplifies your receiver antenna by hundred. It's insane. You receive so much when you do shrooms. So I do subscribe to doing that sparingly. If you want to get in tap with the universe, which is why they made mushrooms. The priest made mushroom caps and stuff like that back in the day. It helped you to reach those spiritual levels a little quicker than just sitting down and vibrating and meditating, you know, unaltered. But absolutely, I subscribe to mushrooms.
All right.
In moderation. In moderation.
No, definitely in moderation. All right, family. Let me see what this person asked him. Yeah, we're gonna end it there. All right, Kev. Any last thoughts you want to share, or anything you want to share with the family before we get out of here, my brother? Anything you got coming up? Let the family know.
Well, no, we're just mashing out on this movement we got. Again, I'll go back to that, raising 100 Johnny Cochran. So we have flashcards. If you want to go, we have. Y'all see that? So we have. Let me see. Can I take the? I can't even take. I don't know how to take the effect off, but hey, here we go. We can see this. We have flashcards right here. These are law flashcards you can get. Um, we got the Know Your Rights. We have a manual, the Know Your Rights manual. This teaches you everything. Can y'all see that? Y'all can't see that at all.
No, we can't see it.
Sorry. Oh, here it is. Right there.
Yeah.
So we got the Know Your Rights manual. This is the Know Your Rights manual. This teaches you everything you want to know about traffic stops and police stops. Everybody, my whole thing is, and I don't teach this because I'm in love with the law. I'm a boxer. I've been boxing since I was 10. And so any fighter knows that if somebody's whooping your ass, you need to learn how they're beating your ass. what method are they using to whoop your ass with? And then you go out, you learn that, and now you learn how to defend against it. And so if you've been getting smashed on, we've been getting smashed on this whole time by the police, and the police, they use the police because that's the so-called elites. That's their first line of offense against us, which is why they allow the police. The police are the only people in the world, pretty much, who are allowed to have a job and don't have to know how to do the job. They can literally not know the law, but they're charged with enforcing the law, but they don't have to know the law, which means you have to know the law. Because if the government allows them not to know the law, that means they're just they want them to keep you in control. That's all that's for. So in order to bypass that, you need to learn the rules to the game. Because if the popo don't know and they're allowed to not know, then how are you supposed to be safe if you don't know? Because they don't have to know shit. So get out. This is why we created the whole movement. I'm not somebody who's like woke up like, man, I love to learn. I want to teach everybody the law. I love the law for sure. I love universal law. I love being able to know what to do in the world, so I don't run into walls and mountains like bumper cars. That's what knowing the law does. It teaches you how to move and maneuver and surf these waves of vibration through the universe, like the Silver Surfer, without crashing into the coral reef. So you need to know the law for that, and that's universal law as well as physical law. You're out here, you're crashing into walls and coral reefs and doing all of that because you don't know how to surf these law waves. So get up, get your butt over and learn that law. I know you may think it's tedious, and it's not. But it may be that way if you're trying to learn it on your own. But in the Know Your Rights Foundation, you got a bunch of people. You have a whole community of people that you're learning it with, that you're immersing yourself in the law language. Law is a language. Just so I want to express that law is a language, just like any other thing. It's not a bunch of information you're going to download and hold on to. That's not what it is. You'll be able to do that for sure, but learning the law is just knowing the language that the law is revealed in. And once you know that, you'll be able to read the law, know the law like reading a comic book or a menu. So immersing yourself in that language, just like going to Italy and talking to the people who know Italian, that's how you're going to learn the language faster. That's what you need to do and come to Know Your Rights Foundation. We're a law nation where our language is the law. So come on over and let us teach you that, so we can build up this army of lawyers. I just want to get this out. Less than 0.5% of people in the world know the law. I just want y'all to get that through your head. Less than 0.5%. So we got 1%, cut that in half, and then cut that in half again, and that's how many people in the world know the law. No, that's so few people who understand what's really going on in the world. And out of that little few, only 50,000 of those are melanated lawyers. Only 50,000 of those are melanated lawyers. And most of those melanated lawyers are entertainment lawyers, tax lawyers, corporate lawyers. They're not criminal attorneys. So we don't know what the hell is going on. And so that's why that's why I go back to Johnny Cochran, who was a criminal attorney, was the smartest lawyer in American history, and he was an activist. He learned that law to bring back to teach the melanated people or to help melanated people get out of the system. He helped more melanated people with knowing the law than anybody you can find. So this is what we're trying to do. What would it be like if you knew a tenth of what he knew? So get on over here. Let us hook you up. Let us download you with this information so we can get out of here and start doing other stuff. But besides getting beat at police stops, and that's all. And that's all I'm really about. So Know Your Rights Foundation and realnagas.com.
You doing your job in this world, in this matrix, my brother. We each got a job to do, and I commend you for teaching the people the law. You're definitely doing your part. I'm doing my part, and it's beautiful when I see other brothers doing something that I'm not tapped into, and I can feel your passion. I'm like, damn, he's really doing what he's down here supposed to be doing down here in this realm.
I want to give you your flowers too, man. Your platform, and I like to call you the conscious Joe Rogan. Not that even Joe Rogan is on your level, but the way his platform allows the many vibrations to get out to the people. It allows the different understandings and information and consciousness, the levels of consciousness to get out to the people. And that's what you are. You don't put your own opinion on it. You say, look, this ain't my opinion. Everyone has a different vibration. You're going to vibe with different things. I'm here to present this to you. Whoever vibes with this is for you. This is for you. It may not be for everybody here that night, but I'm putting this person out for whoever vibes with this person tonight. And that's why you have so many, you have a variety of different types of people on your platform that gives that level of consciousness and exposure to those vibrations. And I just want to, saying shout out to you, brother, for being able for doing that. We need that. No one else is doing it like that. And if they are doing it, they add their own, spin on it. It comes from them. You don't put any of that on there. You just say, look, here they are. I'm gonna ask them some questions. You give them, you throw passes and alley-oops and dimes like that to help get them off. But you allow people to come out here and speak their stuff, brother. And I appreciate that, man.
No doubt, brother. I got to collaborate with you in the future too about the whole Know Your Rights thing. I want to get that out in an even bigger way. So we'll definitely collaborate somehow on that, and probably before the year's up. But you set this off with that video on the conjunction. So I remember that I found out about you through that, and I helped spread that a lot. I was telling my whole channel about that at the time. So
man, I appreciate it. And YouTube, they took me down, and so I had to come up with different lingo, on my channel. So I called.
They was trying to take everybody down. Listen, they done suspended me so many times in the last 2 years, bro.
Man, I know.
They was getting that. And like you said, though, but you know what, Kev? You know what's all good? It ain't working. Information is still getting out there. You can't stop this. You can't stop the rain when it starts to fall.
That's right, man. You can't stop it. And you say my passion comes from this because for some reason I know the law. I can read the law and just understand it. Like somebody who's able to pick up a guitar and just play it without knowing why they're able to do it. I understand the law like that. I don't know why. I'm just able to know the law like that. I can just it doesn't take me any time to be able to look at something and understand it. So it's not the fact that I'm really passionate about the law like that. I like learning the law, but I'm passionate about my people not getting smashed. Yeah. That's what I'm passionate about. When I look at video after video, because we do police stop law class every Sunday. And we show in the police stop law class, we go over police interaction videos to show you what and what not to do and where people went wrong. And so constantly watching melanated people get smashed on because they don't know the law. When the police come up to your car and they ask you questions, where you going? Where you coming from? What's this? You don't have to answer any of that. But you think being nice to the police officer, he's gonna give me some leeway. So if I just be nice to him, he's gonna let me go. No, he's asking you questions, not just because he know you're gonna say no to those stuff or whatever. He's trying to see how you answer those questions. Like when he says, "Do you have any guns or drugs in the car?" He know you're gonna say no, or he or she know you're gonna say no. They want to see how you say no. If you say no and you stuttering and you scared and you don't look at them in the eye and all that, they'll say, "Oh, why you look suspicious?" And they'll use that to use that against you to try to search your car. They're always trying to find a way to elevate it to probable cause so they can arrest you. And most of us don't understand how to fight back, so we go along with that. And every week I see this, see our melanated people getting mashed on, and it pisses you. As I told you, I'm I'm 7 fires and 11 airs, so that means I'm a 18 aggressive sign. So I get pissed. You know, I get so pissed when I'm seeing this, man. I be wanting to bust the screen because it's so simple. The things that we need to know to get out of that, to be able to make the police adhere and adhere to our rights, is so minimal that we don't want to sit down and just learn. So that's the passion you hear coming from me, brother. I hate seeing my people get choked out. That's my passion.
Well, definitely make sure y'all follow Kev on that. And the brother will be back soon, family. With that being said, this is Brother Rich, Kev from Reel Nagas, and we signing out, family. I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow, real quick, tomorrow I'm going to have Professor James Small on, family. So you can tune in tomorrow. Yeah, 9 o'clock for Professor James Small. All right, but we get out of here, family. Thanks for everything. Peace.
All right, peace, brother.
Peace, Kev.